now. What are you doing?
Get that good intro going.
Yeah, got that intro going, man. Keep talking. I was working with it.
I was talking.
I was working with it. I was working with it. Keep going. No, see, that was see.
See, that was
That was a really good intro.
Fucking, say that happened, and then that the one fighter got in trouble because his coach runs a fucking Discord page or something on MMA betting.
Yeah, so that's James Krause. That's why. So everyone's like, "Oh, fight's rigged," or whatever. It's like they're literally under investigation right now for betting because Derek Minner fought, and in like the first 10 seconds, his knee blew out, which happens, but also like happened like right as the fight started, and I guess there was like a ton of betting activity on a prelim fight, like right before the fight.
Well, didn't you say his YouTube channel or something? He like gives betting tips.
Yeah, he retired as a fighter, but he's still a coach of a lot of fighters.
But gives betting advice on the fucking fight.
Well, that was the thing. It was like kind of a non-issue until he started doing it about like people he trains, and then it's like, oh, well now like we're kind of in a different.
It's like insider trading.
Yeah, because you tell someone like he's actually a little sore going into this one. You probably don't want to put too much money down on. Or so that's where it got dicey. But the UFC like firmed up their policy on betting because I guess it was kind of loose before. So now it's like every other sport where you just can't. And then that dude's still under investigation. Had to shut his gym down, which is kind of the thing that sucks. Really? I thought they were just going to kind of oust him, but I guess like...
Because I saw that like anyone who fights like underneath him like cannot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if the gym is still open, being ran by like assistant coaches and stuff, but yeah, he can't like be associated with anyone right now.
So he's ruined. He's done.
I mean, as a trainer, unless that shit gets cleared up, and it's like one
but that's
or
like
the
his whole
other.
life, right? It's just like training and doing that shit.
Yeah.
Which is just shitty that,
now
like,
that he
oh my
can't
god, I finally combined the two. It's like, can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he?
30s.
Oh, he's fucked. That sucks.
Yeah, bro.
Good thing the UFC gives you that retirement plan. Oh.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Uncle Dana spent that on coke.
Uncle Dana wild. Uncle Dana was saying how Jared Gordon gave away the fight by coasting in the third round, and then Paddy Pimblett is literally walking around saying, he's like, oh, I knew I had the first two rounds, so I was coasting the third. It's like, so both guys coasted? So how did Paddy win the third one if both guys coasted, you know? And he was the one with his back on the cage. Everyone's been tearing his ass up with so many memes of his striking where they just, like, freeze the camera because every fucking punch doesn't come from here. He, like, loops. Everything's, like, loaded back here first, so it's just, like, a grid of all the fists being like out here, down here, over here, like nothing's tucked.
Nothing tight.
Yeah. So all the like good highlight reels of that have been fun. You see, there's the one video too of Dana and the two Barstool guys clutching each other while they wait for the scorecards to be read, and then one like the sigh of relief the three of them breathe when he gets it.
That's so.
Do you know how much
shitty.
money I got on this fucking fight?
Because they just hype behind those people, and they like
fucking.
I mean, because the Barstool people have had him on and everything before, and they've like talked to him.
Yeah, Dana gets.
Why doesn't
along
he come
with,
on
like,
a real
couple
show
guys.
like ours?
What's it called? He gets along with a couple guys from Barstool.
He seems like a cool guy.
Who? Dana White?
No, Patty.
Well, that's what I thought too, till the bullshit, and then he sucked Dana's dick off, and then when he knew Ariel had the fucking voice message that he sent him.
Yeah.
So he's still a good dude as far as like he's helping charities. That Jared Gordon guy like came back from
I like his accent.
Drug addiction and stuff, and does a lot of work with charities and shit. So was like, regardless of like the outcome of the fight, I still want to like work with him. So like on that level, good dude or whatever. But kind of a fucking bitch move. It's also funny because he's getting the Sean O'Malley treatment where like he just ran up the ladder so fast.
That dude I don't like.
Oh, fuck that dude.
Bro.
No, he's fucking...
Everyone on Twitter was like...
Fucking queer.
Start a thread of unranked lightweights that could fuck up Patty. Because everyone's like, so what now? Does he about to like fight does he get a ranked opponents next? And it's like, ranked opponent? Here's fucking 10 unranked lightweights that would... Someone was like, Hanato Moicano, that guy who does the interviews that I love lately, he just got into like the 15 spot in the rankings. and I think his coach was like just talking about how the work Patty needs to do, not in a mean way, but just like from a coach's perspective, saying like the work he needs to do on his skill set. He's like, take Moicano for instance. He could beat Patty without training. Like, pick how he wants to beat him, when he wants to do it. No train, like, walk through him. He's like, I don't say that to, like, big up my guy. I say that so this dude knows, like, where he's at, you know? So, it's been fun to keep up with. Ariel is, man's
Just an
undefeated.
animal, just a
Yeah.
savage. I mean, you need that fucking shit, though. You need those savages and, like, those people to, like, put a motherfucker in place. They're not just sucking Dana's dick, being like, oh, Conor McGregor, oh, fucking...
Is that the dude everybody
Sugar
talks
Earl
shit to?
Madley. Who?
Ariel Hawani.
It's like the main MMA reporter.
Okay.
But
Because
Dana White hates him.
Yeah.
I always see
Dana
videos
without
of people
being
just
the
being
man.
like, or like Rampage Jackson, just being like, man, fuck you.
People either love him or hate him.
Okay.
I feel like most people like him.
Yeah.
Like, majority of...
Yeah, I would say that there's like some notable people that hate him that influence the people, a bunch of people that don't know why they hate him anymore. But the people that, I mean, he is the best guy.
He's not a UFC reporter, but fucking Nardwar popped up on there.
Yeah.
He's fucking good.
I love those shorts.
Nardwar?
You'd know him if you saw him. He looks like
He's fucking
small Weird Al,
Yeah, he's got like that weird hair. He wears like the sweater vest. He's got
like
like,
that Scottish
yeah,
golf
he's got
hat
the
thing.
Scottish hat.
Gallagher?
He looks like
Kinda,
Gallagher
yeah.
mixed with Weird Al. Yes.
If Gallagher was short and Weird Al was skinny.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, basically. But no, he goes up to rappers and just like
He talks like all weird,
Like,
and
he
kind
went
of
up to-
eccentric.
he went up to Kendrick and he was like, blah blah blah. What does this name mean to you? And he says like his Kendrick Lamar's rap name from like high school, and he's like, man, how the fuck do you know? Like 6 people I know that name.
Yeah, he
how
said
the
that-
fuck do you know that name?
He said some name to him, and he turns to his friend. And he goes, "You hear that?" He said that. Damn, that's 7th grade. And he's-
that's 7th grade.
Yeah, there's like a lot of. I
Yeah.
think I don't know who does them, but there's some guy on YouTube that does a bunch of shorts of Nardwar. That's like rappers thinking Nardwar's a Fed,
Yeah.
and it's just him
Oh yeah,
all
dude.
doing that, and where it's like, yo, how the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
It's like all different reactions. It's like that type of reaction, then a dude who's genuinely like, yo.
That's
like,
fucked up.
The fuck do you mean? You just said like,
Yeah.
he's
How
got
do you
people
know
like.
that?
Out
There was
there.
one, he was interviewing some rapper, had him doing that, and then like the rapper was freaking out, and then he turns to just someone in his posse, and he was like, and you used to make jewelry for him. And he was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I haven't done that shit in 20 years.
Yeah,
like,
he's like a fucking magician. He just like keeps pulling things out of people's behind
Yeah.
their ears, and they're like, God damn, like
he'll hand somebody like he handed Snoop Dogg a VHS tape of like the first movie he produced, and he's like, Snoop Dogg's like, I'm keeping, like, I don't
I'm
own, like,
keeping
I
this.
can't find this anywhere. Like, I don't even own a copy of this. I'm keeping this. And he's like, no, yeah, it's yours. Keep it.
hold on,
Nah,
man,
he
got
does-
paid for that.
Yeah, he does some cool shit. Like, he's fucking crazy.
That's dope. Is this like red carpet shit, or there's on the street?
I don't know. Just
I-
look up Nardwar.
I guess it's
You don't have
kind
to
of
play
all
video.
over the place. Like, I think probably back in the day he'd have to go up and find them, but now like they can kind of just meet up. This guy,
His Tyler the Creator ones are great. That dude, the
yeah,
guy with
that
the
Scottish
weird
golf
yeah.
hat thing.
Goddamn.
He's always dressed in something goofy, and he talks weird, but man does his homework.
I appreciate.
You're Tyler
that.
the Creator. We have to know.
Yeah,
That's his line.
you guys don't know the Schmo, right? He's an
don't
MMA
think so.
reporter, but he's kind of like this guy of the MMA world. He almost does like a wrestler
Yeah.
shtick, where he's like almost like cutting promos as he's doing the interview. I don't know.
I like when people don't ask them questions, or like when people don't bring up like the shit everybody's asking. When they're just like, everybody's asking you this, but like, what do you think about this movie or something? And they're like,
Oh,
that,
just
was,
out of
that was
left
my
field?
favorite
Yeah.
fucking movie. Like that's my favorite fucking movie. How do you know that? Like shit like that.
That's what was awesome about Opie and Anthony is because it would be every person that was like on the radio circuit of like, you're doing this show, you're doing this show, that you're doing this show. Everyone had the same like script of questions, and then they'd get on there with those fucking animals and whatever comedian they had on that day, and it was like, hey, you worked with so and so, right? He an asshole? Like,
I never listened. I told you I never listened to too much of them, but I listened to a lot of Stern, and his interviews were always like, because it was always like a long form, like it'd be like an hour.
he
or
actually
whatever.
interviews
Yeah,
them.
and they would just like he would just rip these people open, and they'd be talking about shit like they didn't even know they'd be coming on talking about. I don't know. He's a really good interviewer.
I've never ever listened to an episode of Stern.
Really?
I mean, how long does that shit go?
What, like an episode?
Yeah.
Well, it's a radio show. So like he's on like now he's on Sirius like 3 days a week. The rest are just reruns. But like he'll talk like I don't know 6 a.m. to whatever an 8-hour shift is, 6 to
Like with one dude.
It's him. He has like a news lady, Robin. She's in the box, and then there's his like audio guy who does like sounds and like switchboard shit. That's Fred.
Kind of bullshitting around for a little bit, then like halfway through,
he
guy
has
comes
bits.
on,
They
interview,
do bits, yeah. And then
segments.
like him and Fred fuck around, him and Robin fuck around, and then like the people in the place working, like Sal, Baba Booey, all these people, they have like little bits that come in and do stuff.
Yo, Shane Gillis is doing a live podcast, and they're talking about guests that they could get on. He was like, "We tried to get Beetlejuice, I couldn't do it."
Oh, dude, he has a group called the Whack Pack, which is just like Beetlejuice, which is like this guy who's like this tall, like fucked up in the head.
You've seen him before.
There's this one chick, they called her Wendy the retard. And she would just say yes to anything she said. So they'd be like, "Wendy, what'd you do this morning?" She's like, "Well, I went to Wendy's." And he's like, "Did you order chili?" "Yes." "Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Did you have to go to the bathroom after you ate the chili?" "Yes, I did." "Okay. Did you shit in the bathroom?" "I did." "Did a little bit maybe miss the toilet, go on the floor?" "Yes." "Okay. Did you then try scooping it and putting it back into the toilet?" "Yes." "Okay. Did you wash your hands?" "Yeah." Did you go back and eat your food?" Just crazy shit, dude.
What is this again?
It's Stern. That's old Stern. You listen to Stern now, it's not the same. He's kind of more conservative and like
anything like
he's
that
older.
shit, you go back and fucking it changes
You listen
so
to,
much
like-
over time.
you listen to Stern when he was on like E and shit like that, or like old shit when he's on the radio. Shit's fucking crazy.
I always fucking loved. I mean, I was telling him I popped on a VHS from like 10 years ago, and I was like, "Holy shit! Look at the prices on those cars."
Look at that shit. Or just gas prices. I love gas prices in movies from like even like 06 or some shit. Like they'll go by a gas station.
God
It's like,
damn!
fuck,
Look at that.
how cheap that is.
$1.49.
I do that with houses where I'm like, because as a kid you don't like attribute a number. You're just like and if in a movie they buy a house, you're like, "Oh, I bought a house," and now I'm like, "Damn, that probably went for this back then." But now
Yeah.
it's fucking like I just
Yeah. Or even just on Zillow when like you go on houses and you look and it's like, okay, they're for sale right now for $225, and it's like
you
cool.
tap that history
You
button.
tap the history and you scroll down. It's like
This was
180,
$50 back in the
day.
150, 120, 70 grand.
Missed the
Yeah.
fucking boat on that.
For
Fucking
real.
crazy.
Hey, it's not too late. I'm telling you, man. You get that fucking land and you never let it go. You just keep buying more and more land.
You need the land. You need
Keep buying more and more land.
get that land.
Speaking of land, go back to the UFC thing. So
The land of opportunity.
Douglas Crosby, the guy who had the fucked up scorecard in the title fight after the Patty fight,
Related to Bing Crosby.
he was the same guy, and this fight was in Vegas. He was in Connecticut the night before for Bellator, and two guys scored the fight, I think, like 3 rounds to 2 in favor of one guy. And then this motherfucker scored it a 50-45 in favor of the other dude. So then he gets on a plane and fucks up another fight the next night. Vegas isn't doing shit about it because it's like, yeah, what are you going to do? Connecticut, because it's the Mohegan Sun, they're like, it's a Native American reservation. It's not like Vegas and Atlantic City and shit. So they're like, we're immediately conducting an investigation on this motherfucker. And then I guess whoever was doing the interview was like, did you know that he went on to do another fight across the country the next night? They're like, we did not know that. They're like, would you have let him do the first one in Vegas and then come do yours the next night? And they were like, absolutely not. So I was like, good on y'all. I don't know if this is just for show or what, but something.
Well, I feel like just Vegas, no one gives a shit, and especially if it's like, you're a shitty judge, but I know so and so and so and so. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
this is
fucking
like not a
slide
real
right on that.
job, so
Yeah.
that's how that is going to stay working.
You're not fucking applying for that shit. Like, oh, I'm qualified through the X, Y, and Z.
Someone
It's-
made that point too. It's like we can complain about it all we want, but nothing's going to change until it becomes like a job that pays money and not like a glorified volunteer position. It's like, that's pretty fair.
That probably makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, could you imagine if the UFC itself is like, yo, I'm gonna have fucking like 30 judges or whoever the fuck many they want to have, so it's like diverse enough. But it's like, all right, I'm gonna get like this retired coach, this like old analyst, like this guy, and like they could just fucking pick and choose.
Boxing
like,
does
team.
a much better job of that, where it's like, we've got 3 judges, one from this country, one from that country, one from here.
Shit. I love that.
Meanwhile,
shit.
it's like, these are 3 of the 10 Vegas sleazebags that do every fight. I guess in the
catch them in the bathroom between rounds if you want to bump a Coke.
Bump into them, money falls out. No, but Patty, his fight, I think Big John's son is a judge, and he judged that fight. And then Big John, I guess, was saying how he thinks the crowd reaction probably influenced him, which is what like you would say in general about what would probably happen. It was just interesting that like the man's dad said it.
Big John McCarthy.
I did. I think you've seen it too. It's like a fight from like everyone's perspective, like all 3 judges' perspectives, and it's like you see that punch obviously landing clearly, but like 2 out of the 3 judges did not see that punch landing clearly at all. It looked like a miss.
John Anik will point out, he does a good job of pointing out to the audience that they don't have monitors and they just have to watch it, and then he'll point out sometimes like, if there's a cut on somebody and they don't know till the replay happens, whether if it was like a strike or a headbutt or whatever, he'll be like, and I did just see the judges, looking up at, they have that big fucking jumbotron. So literally they have to crane up and look at that in between rounds to try to catch up on what actually happened.
It's weird they don't have monitors.
No, it's crazy. Like, they
I
don't
feel
have
like
instant replay like
even
baseball or anything.
Because I feel like even being cage side, that's still
the guys
not
who
as
sit
good.
cage side have a fucking screen in front of them.
They have screens, just stupid.
Yeah.
Fucking, wasn't there a fight this past weekend? Yeah, this past weekend, like, where, like, someone took a knee that, was illegal or something, and the dude didn't even see it. But
yeah, that was right after you came out, or right before you got here the other day. That was what happened, and the referee calls time, and he's explaining to the fighter. He's like, "Okay, so I didn't see the knee, so we're waiting on the instant replay. We don't know where it landed yet." He goes, "It landed on my fucking face, man."
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm telling you where it hit.
Referee to be like, "All right, timeout. I missed that one. Like, let me back up. Like, fucking see the screen."
Yeah. Hope to God he actually got hit, and I just didn't fucking fall for some bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that would be your fucking head, bro.
The commentators will call that out too. They're good on that, where it's like, if a referee like takes a fighter's word for it, they're like, I don't know if he saw it himself, but gonna stop it nonetheless.
Like, it's a difficult position.
Oh yeah, I have way more empathy for a ref than I do a judge. A judge, I have empathy for like the situation not being great, but like you still aren't really doing the most, even in that limited.
There's definitely times when it's like, I don't want to judge that. Like, I don't know who fucking won that or like where the fuck. But like the referee, it's like he's got to be on point. Like if he fucking misses for a second, like some shit can go wrong.
Especially if you
quick.
watch like some fights with good refs immediately into watching bad ones.
Oh god, it's horrendous.
Yeah, it stands out so much more. Like if you watch Muay Thai where the guys are fucking sliding to catch heads before they hit the mat, and then you watch like it's just a random kickboxing bout where it's like someone's fucking assistant coach in the ring, and it's like, oh shit.
I think it's funny also like watching UFC to like the ones because every 2 seconds they're not hitting action. Come on, let's go. Action. Yeah. Like there's no like, I'm gonna coast this round.
I'm gonna pitter patter around.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out on the outside and wait for him to come to me. It's like no, you have to, or else they're gonna fucking take a point away, bro.
Yeah, I hate a lot of that in boxing too when they're hanging on each other.
Boxing especially is shitty because there was a good chunk of period in time where it just sucked. Where it was just jab and grab. I think it was largely Klitschko's fault. But I mean,
it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, get the fuck off! Like, fight the man. Jeez.
Punch him 3 times, then grab him. Wait for them to break you up. Punch him 3 times and grab him.
Damn.
I have some sympathy after watching that one episode of Ipo with Wally, where it's like, it's not like no one's dream is to fight like that. Some people just want to fight, and it's like, I don't have the punching power, I don't have the reach, I don't have this.
It's a chess match. Yeah, you can win that way, but
so for some people, I understand it, but also other people where it's like, when you see like an athletic specimen and they're doing like the least they can to coast by, and you're like, yo, you gotta let it go, bro. Like
do something.
Yeah. Did you see Woodley and Till are a combined like 11-0 since they fought each other, or 0-11?
That's horrendous.
Yeah, Till is like, I don't know what.
How is he still doing bad at that weight?
Well, that's the thing. I thought after moving up, he was going to do so much better. He's probably the best fight Whitaker's had, other than Izzy, in a while. And then after that, he's had injuries. He's fought no one but the best. But like this past weekend was like kind of the one where it's like, this guy's good, but like,
You should win this.
you should win this for sure. And like, he just didn't. Like, his takedown defense was not. The guy's not a wrestler, and he was just like pushing him over. And then he said that he didn't think Till was big enough for middleweight. But it's like he's too big for welterweight.
Yeah, he definitely cannot do welterweight again. That was rough for everyone.
So I don't. That guy. He's like, he did a little video. He's like, I'm not retiring, but I don't really know what to do right now. I was like, damn.
People like that, I think it sucks that they sign them on for such long contracts sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody like that, it's like, take that dude down to AAA. Like, throw him in a fucking 1FC, throw him over in Bellator or something, let him get his feet under him.
Or at least put him on the prelim. That's the thing. Like, he can only fight another main card motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, they can't have him feature a prelim and, fuck someone's face up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, like,
They can't blatantly give him a tomato can. They got to still dress it up.
AAA ball.
Yeah.
Transfer him, let him fucking, fuck some dudes up over in Bellator for a couple minutes and then swing him back over once he's got his feet under him. Because he's a good fighter.
Yeah. And, like, has, like, a lot of drive, like, seemed to address all his weaknesses, but then it just didn't show whatsoever in the fight. Like, he trains with all wrestlers now, but I do not know.
Where's he training out of? He's not in Netherlands or whatever?
Till was in England, obviously,
Or
and
England.
then the past couple years he went to Switzerland with Hazmat.
Switzerland. Yeah.
But they have, like, that. I think it's all-stars over there. They have a couple strikers, but it's like a grappling heavy.
Yeah, their camp is scary.
Yeah, it's that Guram Kudaladze guy.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
Ooh.
Dude, you could not pay me enough money to get in the ring with that guy.
He was on
fuck you up.
He was on the list where it's like, does Patty deserve a ranked opponent? And someone just posts a picture of him. He goes, Kudaladze is unranked currently, and I think I respond like, that man would do whatever he wanted to Patty Pimblett.
Such a weird organization and everything. Just odd.
Someone was pointing out how it's not a sport because they prioritize spectacle over, like, any ranking or anything. And I was like, I guess it might be
Say that
meant.
again?
There's still a ranking, though.
It can't be considered sport because it prioritizes spectacle over, like, proper. Like, in baseball, whoever's 1 and 2 or, whoever wins the playoffs fights each other. It's not like, well, the Braves' Twitter is blowing up lately, so we're actually going to go with the Braves, even though they're not one of the 2 teams that want,
I see.
I wouldn't necessarily go as
Yeah,
far
but
to say it's not a sport, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Also,
It's like
but you
mincing words for sure.
But you can also, like, break it down to where, like, this fighter beat this person, therefore they're this place, this person beat this person, so these two should be fighting for this.
If it was
I'm sure a lot of it doesn't go that way.
Right.
Well, that's the thing.
But there is still, like, a ranking system.
Right, but, like, who does the ranking?
It's very
It's
so, bro.
The government.
I just did a video
The
actually
U.S. government.
on the MMA channel at light heavyweight. Fucking Paul Craig beats Krylov. Krylov beats Ozdemir. Ozdemir beats Paul Craig. So it's like this fucking circle of, like, who do you put above the other one without then putting that person above them? But then
That's a 3-way tie. Everybody fight again.
So, yeah, you have that shit mixed with, like, all the others. So, I mean, I understand it's difficult. It's not fucking easy.
because then all of a sudden you have dudes ranked lower who beat a guy ranked higher, but maybe he fought a couple more times.
Yeah.
Who is pound for pound right now? I haven't checked that list in a very long time.
Volkanovski and Islam. Islam really shouldn't be that high because he
Islam,
only has the one title win. Volk definitely deserves
yeah,
it.
he's got a track
dude's
record.
cool.
It was
cool.
Usman until he lost to Leon.
Usman was very dominant.
Pound for
in-
pound.
That's what it was.
That man's enough pounds to fucking be bigger than anybody.
Sick.
You like that?
He fights at welterweight.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's a big
No, he's a
motherfucker, though.
big
Oh, hell.
motherfucker.
That's not, yeah.
He's a big
He's not a
motherfucker.
heavyweight?
No. He talks about fighting at light heavyweight.
Oh, I'm thinking of Ngannou. I'm sorry.
Didn't they? I saw something that they didn't sign him again.
Yeah, Ngannou is in the contract holdout because he doesn't want to re-sign. He wants to make a new contract for more money and one that includes the ability to go box because he still wants to do that.
What is with people in that shit?
There's money in boxing.
Yeah, it's a quick paycheck, but like, holy shit, bro.
That's all it is. I mean, I wish people... I don't get what that is, though. I don't know if that's like a cultural thing from like years ago where people are willing to tune in and pay money for boxing.
No,
where
it's
like
the UFC's greed. They're not paying fucking people.
No,
I
I'm
think they're
saying
also-
customers. Like like YouTube or whatever. They don't go MMA fight. They box. Like people tune in for like a boxing match.
But if Ngannou goes and fights like Tyson Fury has such a big following. Ngannou has a very big following. It's almost like just like how many followers do these people have? Well, a lot of people like Ngannou, a lot of people like this person. Then these two people go and fight. Obviously, their follower. You'd hope their followers go and watch it.
Yeah, like
It's like those what's his face fucko that fought like Mayweather and
Logan Paul.
that dude. How many? He has a shitload of followers. It's like nobody should tune in to watch that because it'd be shitty. But he has a fuck ton of followers, and his followers are like, I'll go watch that.
Yeah.
I like
I'll
Logan
pay
Paul.
$5-10.
Fuck yeah,
it was.
I like Logan Paul, or even just the spectacle of being like Mayweather's fighting again. What the fuck? I'll watch that.
I almost paid money for the Tyson. And,
We did. My dad did. My dad was like, I gotta see this.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were over.
I'd watch it, just see them fucking pitter patter each other. Like, but
It wasn't good.
yeah, going in knowing like these are like two 50-year-old men. Like they're not gonna fucking like kill each other. Like I just want to see them move a little bit.
It's funny
Tyson
after
could
that
have
one.
fucked him up, I think.
Tyson's still very scary.
He's a terrifying man.
He could
Probably the scariest person.
You ever see that video of how regular boxers shadow box, and it's Anthony Joshua, and he's moving around, and it's like how Mike Tyson's shadow boxes, and it's him at 18, and he's a single ball of muscle twitching punches.
his muscles specifically are
His neck?
terrifying.
That neck.
Like just his build and everything is just terrifying.
Speaking of muscles, dude, I was watching. You see, Goggins was on Rogan again. That motherfucker, he is the most Like, I want to start working out. I want to
Is that
start
the
running.
Navy SEAL guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to start running after watching this shit. But he was saying he went to go get like meniscus surgery, and like he runs like 200 and something miles like on these races. And he said the doctor went to cut his meniscus and it broke the scalpel. And he goes, Goggins is on there and Rogan's like, what do you mean it broke the scalpel? Like it just cuts right in. He goes, nah, man, my shit, it broke that motherfucker. Who else can do that? All you motherfuckers that say I don't put in work, man, fuck you. Who else breaks the
Who's
scalpel?
saying he doesn't put in work?
I don't know, but I'm like,
All the
You
man
see
does
this-
is document him working.
you see this man on fucking Instagram, mile 78,
Yeah.
and he's like full, like can breathe, talking fine. Motherfucker, get out there, motherfucker. He doesn't really talk like that, but
Yeah.
kind of.
Broke a scalpel. That's the coolest.
Isn't that the
thing ever.
craziest thing you ever
Anime
heard?
shit.
Yeah. His meniscus was just so like from years of pressure of just running like 250-mile races and just doing shit.
That's like that moment of like going to like give Superman a shot and it like doesn't go and you're like, what?
Yeah,
The
right?
needle.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Superhuman.
No, that man, I love when he's on Rogan, even just his Instagram videos, man, they're great.
Inspiring.
That dude's great.
My head goes off to people that can run that fucking long.
Right? I didn't even know that was a thing, those super marathons.
You gotta have such a runner's
Ultra
high
marathon.
to
Ultra
keep going
marathon,
like that. I mean, once you get past like the actual marathon,
Yeah.
like the 26 like mile where the fuck, like, and then you're just still running. It's like, man, like I said, you got to be on a great runner's
Yeah.
high or something. I would be,
Dude, he was like-
bored as fuck.
That dude's on Rogan and he's like, yeah, I had my knee drained. My knee was the size of a grapefruit, and I had it drained like 2 days before the race. I ran 250 miles, had to get it drained again. Could barely walk. Next few weeks, I did another race, 200 miles. Couldn't walk again. I'm like, dude, this dude is just like, I don't know, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. That's crazy.
Would you run a marathon?
I don't think I could, man. I run, like, the most I've ever run is, like, 3.5 miles. And it's like, I was, like, that was when, like.
Start with a 5K, maybe?
That was when I was, yeah, I'll start with a 5. Like, dude, that was when I was, like, you know, in shape. Like, I don't know. I couldn't fucking do that now. I could probably run. I ran, last time I ran was, like, last summer. And I ran, like, 1.3 miles, and I was fucking, like, I stopped running. Like, I was fine running. Like, I was fine running. Like, running, I felt like the runners, I was feeling good. The second I stopped, I couldn't fucking walk. Like, my calves hurt so bad. My, like, fucking knees felt like they were going to explode. I was just telling Christian, I got to start doing squats or something. My knees feel unstable.
When's the last time you ran? High school? Had to run the mile?
Probably sometime with Johnny.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I remember that. And your fucking doctor got mad at you and told you to stop.
Yeah.
Do you run?
No, not anymore.
I
enjoy running. I wish I could get up and fucking run more.
I love ripping, just ripping a sativa, put in some good music, and I feel like I'm flying. I'll be running I'll be running in cornfields like this.
Yeah, bro.
You're like Pele.
When it's shit like that, like I can run, bro, and I'm good for like, give me like half hour, and I'm fucking just cruising. Yeah. I love that shit. Like I said, I don't know how people do that shit sober, especially like, no, I gotta keep my good lungs for my running. Like,
a lot of people like those like legit runners. They're like, yeah, no, I don't do shit. I don't listen to music. I don't do anything. I just fucking run. I just do that. It's like, fuck,
music I don't like for running.
Really?
Because then it like marks how much time. Like every time a song changes, I'm like, that was 3 minutes or whatever, you know?
Oh, interesting. See, I like the music because I run with the tempo.
The beat,
like I can stick with the beat.
No, I zone the fuck out. That's one thing I actually prefer to have people around for. Like I liked running and like doing the stairs with Mike and them. That was fun.
Okay.
Because running was always like a means to an end. Maybe if I like changed the perspective into like, no, like we're running to run, then maybe I could do it longer. But it was always just running for like, all right, and we fucking did that part of the workout. All right, time to go do like better things. Yeah.
Yeah. I like running. I don't mind running with people. I do like the music, but like if I run with somebody, it's like working out with somebody. Like it's like it keeps you paced. Like I'll go to the gym, I'll crank out an hour workout in a half hour just because I'm fucking let's get the fuck out of here. Instead of just like sitting and resting while the other person goes. It's like, well, someone's running, I can kind of hang with them, and it's like, I don't know, maybe they run slower, or maybe they're a little faster. You got to push yourself, but.
Yeah, I liked running in the group because then like half the group's like zoned out like you are, and then the other half's like bullshitting with each other. So like if you're tired, you can kind of like hang back with them, and they're talking about like this fucker what he did over the weekend. But then if you want to like kind of keep pace with one of the better guys, you can go and kind of lock in behind them.
Zone in.
Got options.
I do like that runner's high though. That like
it's a matter of fucking earning it.
Yeah, it sucks getting to it.
Some of you
because there is a click where it is like you're like fuck, I can't fucking breathe, and then like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, here we go.
Zone.
Now we're feeling good.
Some like prelim UFC fighter randomly tweeted out, man, that blunt hits different after sparring, and I was like,
you're goddamn right, it does.
I've never agreed with anything more.
No, you guys opened my eyes to that one. That was a game changer.
Yeah, bro.
What if we could knock the tolerance out of your head?
And then smoke, and then get more high.
How would that grab you?
The car ride home, good music.
Oh, yeah. Super spacey on that car ride home after getting dumped
hoping
a couple
it's
times.
a straight line, yeah, and you can just veer home.
Stay conscious. Stay conscious.
Man, you're good. You got this shit.
Feel like I'm leaning the car like from point A to point B.
No, I don't drive while intoxicated,
and that's on God.
That's on God. Now I'll say that right now. Put that on the record.
What would you think would happen if you lied in court and when they were like you swore on oath, be like, yeah, but you had me swear on that thing.
Come on, you made me swear on that thing.
Like, do you get in trouble, or are they like, why isn't that more of a thing?
I don't get why they make you swear on the Bible. Where I'm like, I don't believe in this shit. Like,
yeah, like if you just
like this for like, just so you guys know, this means nothing to me.
They
So-
do have other. They have like the Quran
I
or
don't
like
give a
the
fuck
fucking
about any
the
of
other
that
shit.
Give me like a fucking give me an artifact to fucking
An
put my hand.
artifact?
Yeah, I
What
don't
do you
know.
want, like the Declaration
give me
of
a-
Independence?
Give me
or
like
something?
an Egyptian talisman
Give me an
or something.
ankh, yeah.
You swear on the ankh.
No, not
you
a
swear,
talisman.
You swear on, I don't know, fucking
Scarab.
anything.
That's what they have.
the
blue
beetle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beetle.
Yeah, I might not
People
blue
take that
beetle.
I might not
shit
fuck with
very
that.
seriously.
Or give me
then.
like give me like a Native American like script, maybe not scripture,
Headdress.
but like just something like linked to the star people.
See, we murdered all of them, so I don't think we should.
So that's the issue. No, apparently the court
Yeah.
systems are all bullshit.
Says
Apparently.
our security guard.
Our security guard that works
was
with us.
very well read.
Dude, it was crazy, man.
Do tell.
Oh, he was just
Yeah, you literally told me you were going to talk about it
I'm
in the
forgetting-
pod. You
I'm
just got set up for it, and you're like, it's crazy.
I don't know. The issue is that
That's
no.
fucking
Here's the issue.
insane.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue. Because there's so much to it. And I read. Okay, here's what happened. I get there. I'm working curbside in the back. The dude's just working the back. And like, I've talked to him a couple times. He's nice.
He's a good dude.
As I'm walking in, he goes, "Yo, Mark, you believe in aliens?" And I go, "My man." And I go, "Yeah. What about you?" And he goes, "Well, I believe
I
about
dabble.
I dabble. Some of it, it's okay. But the Bible talked about a little thing called chariots. So what do you think those were? I think UFOs are all through the Bible, the Quran.
That was also like the
blah,
first
blah.
book of that, Chariots of the Gods, in like the 70s.
I almost brought that up, where I was like, "You read Chariots of the Gods?
like, what
are
did you just find this?
Yeah.
Like, the
So we
verbiage
start-
you're using is 50 years old.
So we start talking about we start going on about like ancient alien shit, and like apparently he takes a lot of that as like
Gospel.
well, no. He's like, well, I entertain it. I don't, a lot of it, I don't really agree with. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, I'm more towards like the government stuff. I'm more interested in like, the bullshit that like the government creates. And I go, do tell.
2 for 2, bud.
2 for 2. Hey, go ahead, brother. Are we talking about deep state? What are we doing here, dude? So he starts telling
What's
me
Cheney up to?
Yeah, dude, I told him about Vice. I was like, "You seen the movie Vice?" And he goes, "No, what's that?" And I go, "Watch it, you'll love it." He goes, "I'm off the next 2 days. I'll watch it." Beautiful. So he's telling me how, Nick, you're a smart man. You probably already know this. You don't have to pay taxes. That's optional. You don't have to register your car. You don't have to register a gun. You don't have to do any of that because you, my friend, have a thing called rights. Okay.
You're a citizen of the greatest nation on earth.
You're a citizen of the greatest nation on earth. And let me tell you about this greatest nation. The United States of America. You would say you were born in it, correct?
Correct.
Correct. You were born in the sovereign 50 states of the U.S. But there's a second
Under God.
But there's a second U.S. It's a 10 square mile radius in Washington, D.C. called the District of Columbia. That's U.S. the corporation. Okay? Because the U.S. is a corporation. That's where the debt goes. That's why it does taxes. It does all this shit because it's a corporation. Now, the government prints its own money. The money used to be backed by a gold standard. It's not backed by a gold standard anymore.
Ever since the Federal Reserve took over after
This is him
World
telling
War
me
II.
this, and I'm doing it to the best of my knowledge. I'm going to butcher some of it. The dollar was backed by a gold standard. It's not anymore. So now the money is worthless. And
Because a bunch of ex-Nazis fucking decided.
what the government does is they have the U.S. Reserve, another corporation. It's all just a bunch of corporations is what all this is. It's all corporate America. Okay? Them as a corporation,
Rockefellers.
they tell them to print more money, but charge an interest above what the money is worth. That's the national debt. That's why the national debt keeps rising, because they keep printing more money, but they're charging interest on it more than what it's worth. Okay. So that's that aspect. But now what he was fucking blowing my mind with, he starts talking and he goes, "You got a driver's license?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes,
I'm proud to say that I do. Yes.
and he goes, "You got it on you?" And I go, "Yeah." And he says, "Pull it out." And I go, "All right." I pull it out and I look at it and he goes, "That's your name, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you write your name like that?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "No, you don't. You don't write your name in all caps." And I go, "It is on all caps." And he goes, "Do you have a social security card on you?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Well, I got mine." And he pulls it out, his name, all caps. He goes, "Every single document that you have, birth certificate, your social security card, your license, federal ID, anything you do
All
with
my
the
house shit was in all caps.
anything you do with the federal government is in all caps, okay? When you sign to buy a house, they're going to say print your name in all caps in these boxes in this format. What you're doing, what that is, the all caps, is that's when
a separate entity.
it's a separate entity. They call that a straw man. That's a fake
what?
a straw man, a straw person. That's a fake. It's a fake person imposed by the national government. So what that person is, when you
It's like
when
the
you're
Matrix.
when you're born, your parents have to declare you. They send a declaration form that you were born. That's your birth certificate. That's why on your birth certificate, I didn't fucking know this. On your birth certificate, it says not a valid form of identification. That's my birth certificate, but it's not a valid form of identification because of this. So when your parents send that away, the government registers the birth certificate. They assign you a social security card. He pulls out a social security card and he says, now he goes, what do you think this is? I go, that's my number. And he goes, no, that's your account number. He flips it over and he goes, on the back, every social security card has this number. That's your routing number. And he pulls out a book and he goes, there's 8 banks or however many banks in the U.S. Mine goes to Philadelphia, blah, blah, blah. That's where my social security goes. All the taxes I pay, everything I goes to that bank. He goes, so what this is your account number. That means you have an account with the government. That means that when your name is in all caps, that's you as like a corporate entity or like a corporate entity or whatever that is. I don't know if that's the right verbiage, but that's like a separate you that the government can deal with. So now when you're registered on your birth certificate, the government opens up.
That's like the you that exists in that 10 by 10 square.
Yes, that's the part of you that exists in Washington. That's what that is. So when your parents send that declaration form that you were born and they make that social security card, the government then opens up, I don't fucking know what it's called. It's not insurance, but it's like that. Say for $1 million. Okay, you're worth $1 million as a child. And you're bound as something of the court. Okay, that's why the government can come and take you away from your parents. Because like DCFS, they can come and say, you're an unfit mother. We have to get this person to a better home. Because they know that you're going to be paying taxes to the government and so long. And they opened up this account for you that your money doesn't go into, but they make an account and they assign so much money to it that they then play with that money in the stock market, which then that account raises for then when you go to a bank and sign using your all cap name to pull out a loan, the bank has to balance its books. So the government gives them money from that account that you have with all that money in it that you don't have access to because that's you and that square section in the federal government or whatever. They give the money to the bank. That goes to the bank as credit. That money gets deposited into your account as debt that you owe the bank that money. But it's your fucking money because it's up here in that fucking thing that you have, that account. So now the bank's books are balanced. That account could be closed, but now you're in debt. Now you pay the bank back with interest. So now the bank makes more money because they already got paid back for their shit. And now you're going to pay the bank back for the loan that they gave you that was given to them from that account. This is what he's telling me. I'm also butchering some of it. That's the straw person. And he gave me 3 fucking books that I skimmed through with his highlighting that he did. He highlighted a lot of the stuff in this book.
Some important passages.
I have pictures of it, too. I should read this shit to you guys.
I've heard a little bit of the straw man thing on a YouTube video that I watched falling asleep.
I mean, it makes sense.
So there's
I understand
also
like aspects of it, but not fully at all.
He said there's also this was interesting. There's a difference between this is also crazy. On a federal building, you'll see the U.S. flag, and then you'll see a U.S. flag with gold fringes. That's the U.S. federal corporation flag with the gold fringes. That's how you know it's going to be a federal building, and that's how you know it's under that corporation. So, he said there's a difference between common law, which is the laws, he said, it's the biblical laws, the laws that, you know, you can't kill somebody, you can't rob somebody, you can't inflict harm on somebody, you can't swindle somebody out of money, you can't fuck somebody over.
Well, I don't know
So-
about swindling. I
so-
mean, he had you
I've done-
coming. I don't, please. What are we talking about?
So he tells me
Kanye's in the news.
he tells me there's this. But then there's also laws that are made in that 10 square mile in DC. Laws like you got to wear your seatbelt, you can't blow a red light, you got to pay taxes, blah, 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 blah. Those laws don't apply to you because you're a person. They apply to the all caps you. What the all caps version of you is under a different jurisdiction or different set of laws. Because
so is that what
it
people mean when they say sovereign citizen? Is
Yes.
that they're saying that they're like
Yes.
a person and not?
Yes.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So those laws affect that person, not you as a person, because you're only you can only get charged if you hurt somebody or if you're under that common law. You murder somebody, you hurt somebody, you
Or
rob
like
somebody,
a threat, or
shit like that. Exactly,
dangerous.
exactly. So when you
But if I broke like an ordinance, like a seatbelt
Yeah.
thing or whatever,
so when you say you blow a red light, you're speeding or something, cop pulls you
I guess
over.
speeding is kind of dangerous though, because you could kill somebody. So that's
But
kind
did
of
you?
gray area.
But did you? That's the thing, is what they're saying. So if cop pulls you over, you're going 15 over, I'm giving you a speeding ticket. It's like, fuck you, I'm not paying this. I didn't hurt anybody, blah, blah, blah. But like a normal person, you would then go to court or whatever. If like you do something, you have to go to court. You go to court, you sign something. What you sign is allowing you as a person to represent the straw person that doesn't exist. That's what you're doing. You're giving, much like your social security card, how you sign it, that's you signing that you are that person, the all caps person. That's what that is.
That you're
So-
linked.
Yes, so that when you go to court, you go, yes, I'll who is here? You fucking sign in all caps in your shit. You fill out all your paperwork. You say, I am here, blah, 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 and you sign your name, just like your social security card number. That matches with the all caps person. You then you're representing the straw person who is under those set of laws. So now when you go into a court that is owned by the federal government, you then get penalized for not doing that shit because you agreed to be under these set of laws. Now what he's saying is contracts have to be, you have to know the full entirety of a contract. So if like, say I'm going to paint your house, you're going to give me $1,500 and I'm going to paint your entire house. Cool. Me and you both know how the contract's going to work. Me and you both have an agreement. If I fuck you over, I don't paint your house, you can come and sue me. All right. Where was I going with that?
There was the contract you sign when you go to court to represent yourself.
Yes. The contract. So when you sign that document, you're being tricked into a contract. And that contract is that you have to abide under those laws and shit like that.
So
And
you're
then
saying don't sign that contract
But you,
as a good thing.
So what? No, well, so you have to sign it, but you have to put this fucking. You have to put without prejudice UCC 1-308. That's a section in the whatever handbook they have. When you use that in conjunction with their signature, you did not. It means that you are knowingly, voluntary, and intentionally. I do not accept the liability of any compelled benefit or any unrevealed contract for a commercial agreement. When you do that, it unbinds you from that, and then they usually just throw the case out. This dude's telling me he's been pulled over, and he has this fucking stamped on his license, this act, or whatever that is. The cops grabbed this license, brought it back to the car, called somebody, went back to the car and was like, what do you know about this thing? And he's like, what the fuck do you know about it? And he's like, well, that's blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, you're wrong. That means that you can't do X, Y, Z to me. And the cop goes, get your taillight fixed. Sends him on his way. He had to go to court because some cop pulled him over. He started arguing with him about this shit. 4 other squad cars pulled up. They throw him in the back of the car, arrest him. He then gets sent to court. the judge goes, okay, blah, 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 where's your attorney? I don't have one. Cool. Here's your public defender. He goes, I don't want him. He's working for you guys. I'm not dealing with him. She goes, okay, go sit down. She calls him back up. Here's your other public defender. Here's a different one. I don't want him. She then gets mad at him and is like, you don't want 30 years of experience as a public defender defending you? And he goes, no, I know my shit. I don't need somebody to do that. And she goes, what do you mean? What do you mean you know what you're doing? This is law. And he goes,
you're an out of work security guard.
He goes, I read books. The same thing you did to get where you are. I read books. It's just, except I didn't follow your path. I just know the laws. And he goes, I would like to defend myself. She goes, all right. So she gives him all the fucking evidence that a lawyer would get. He builds his case. He goes to court. The judge goes, all right, we're throwing it out. They don't even want to deal with it. That's what happens.
Well,
he hasn't paid taxes in 10 years.
All right, that you need to press him on.
Yeah.
That I'm curious about.
So
how's that work?
The IRS is going to start knocking on his door real soon.
Oh, bro, he showed me a book. He goes, because he handed me these little books, like 60 pages. He's like, just thumb through this. He's like, you got to educate yourself. And I'm like, it's slow today. I ain't doing shit on an 8-hour shift. I'll thumb through your books. I don't give a fuck. So I started looking through that, and he goes, now, you ain't ready for this one. But when you are, let me know. He pulls out a fucking IRS book that is this thick. That has, you know those like highlighter fucking things?
Post-it. Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude, I look at it and I go, this says number 2. And he goes, yeah, I got number 1 at home. And I go, you're a fucking animal, man. You are crazy. And he goes, man, I hope the IRS audits me. I fucking hope they try something. I'm going to fuck shit up in that court. And I go, all right, bro. Hell yeah.
I love that this guy exists.
I mean, yeah, power to him. I mean,
man.
I wish more people were like that, I guess.
Yeah. I bought those books.
Nice.
They were $5.
Are you going to change your shit now?
I ain't doing shit. I ain't fucking with that. I'm still paying my student loans. I brought that up to him. I was like, do I got to pay student loans? He goes, man, fuck those student loans. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, man, you don't have to do that because of X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I have a bunch of shit saved. I should have made notes, but yeah, I don't know. I was reading at work.
Damn. Send some links to that book.
No, I'm gonna thumb through it more. We're gonna get back on this, but because there's more to it. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I gotta get back into the straw man thing because I do remember that.
Dude, that was the most fascinating part of it. Was the straw man thing.
I remember that all caps thing. Like,
dude, I pulled up my license. I was like, no shit. That's fucking crazy.
The social security thing is weird to me. I like instead of like the fucking routing number or whatever goes to the bank and shit. That's your account number.
So what every corporation wants to do is make money. So the U.S. as a corporation, they want to make money. So they have these people and they just try to, it's ingenious and it's infuriating, like to like read. Because it's like, you're like, these people are so fucking smart. Like who the fuck would think about this shit? Bro, I bring up the Titanic.
This man knows what time it is.
This motherfucker, I go, you know about J.P. Morgan? And he goes, yeah, man, Federal Reserve, blah, blah, blah. That was in 1913, blah, blah, blah. And I go, I'm going to say some shit. I don't know how true it is. I didn't fact check it too much.
I don't have evidence to back up what I'm going to say.
I go, there's rumors that J.P. Morgan sunk the Titanic because he invested so much money into it. And all of his competitors were on that boat. And right before it left, he got pulled off the boat with all of his priceless paintings. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he starts fucking going into it. And I'm like, nice. My man. All right. Hell yeah. But no, this dude's wild.
Talk to.
This dude's wild.
I do appreciate that shit.
He's smart, though.
Especially, like, just people at work. They're just like, hey, like, ancient, like, you like aliens? And then just, like, fucking, like, deep state government shit.
You wouldn't expect
a toss-up, though.
He's missing fucking...
the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
He's missing a fucking half a row of teeth. You would never notice. You'd notice, but you would never know. You would never know he knows this shit. But he's just in his car reading all fucking day.
Yeah.
He goes, man, I'm gonna get back to my books. All right, dude.
He's one of the better people we've had in that spot in a while.
Yeah. No, he's good. But no, I'm gonna read more. Get back in on that. We're gonna check back in on this. I gotta learn more.
Hey, don't we all?
Don't we all? Knowledge is power, my friend.
Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
No.
Big movie guy.
God, yeah, that is fucking crazy, bro. Like, fucking art student. Anyway,
I get it. I mean, whatever. I like art.
There's
how about them apples?
I like visually appealing movies. That's just a movie.
Yeah, nothing like Robin Williams acting at a
Oh,
fucking
bro.
10 level.
I'm, like,
Robin
gonna
Williams is
cry when I fucking see
Yeah, I
that
mean,
movie
I've seen the
next.
scene where he fucking breaks down to the
Yeah.
dude, and you start crying. My screenwriting teacher pulled that clip up in the middle of class, fucking bright and early in the morning. Goes, "Hey guys, I'm gonna show you guys some good writing." Puts it on there. Everybody's crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, buddy.
Well, yeah, bad on him, but
Good writing. I mean, tremendous.
There's one scene in the movie where it's like at the fucking like the podium or the fuck like on stand, and the judge is like, "Well, you punched somebody." It's like, "Whoa!" In my defense, like,
Yana.
and the yada yada yada, like Act of 1872, I have the right to defend myself against the act
Yeah.
of government if it's like considered tyranny and like fucking yada. But it's like you can get out of these fucking like bullshit courtroom things,
Bro, it's so-
if you know your way around.
even if you don't know enough to get out of it, if you know enough to like cause them enough of a fucking headache to be like,
There's,
I
like,
have
done,
shit to
like,
do today. Yeah.
You want to hear some crazy facts that were just in the back of this book? I'm just going to read them off. They're all random. King George III of England financed both sides of the Revolutionary War.
Isn't that the case with like most wars? Maybe not finance entirely, but like selling arms to both sides, like
Yeah.
They
profiting.
lose so they can fucking take it back over.
I'm playing both sides.
The U.S. has not had a treasury since 1921.
Yeah, when we did the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. New York is defined in the Code of Federal Relations, CFR, as the United Nations. Rudolph Giuliani stated on C-SPAN that New York is the capital of the world, and he is correct.
Hey, if Rudy
That is
Giuliani
true.
says it,
Well,
Hey,
no, but yeah, that's where United Nations is. It is the capital of the world.
Great Britain is owned by the Vatican.
Really? Great
Yeah.
Britain is owned by
Great
the
Britain is
Vatican.
owned by the Vatican.
Well,
the Pope can abolish any law in the United States.
Well, isn't that what controls your... Well, wait, say that one again after, but
Great Britain is owned by the Vatican.
Vatican owns Great Britain. Does Great Britain's monarchy come out of Roman Catholic, like, emperors and stuff?
Great Britain is like, isn't it all three of them, or is it two of them? It's England.
No, I'm saying, yeah, UK or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, Rome is Italy and shit. I'm saying, like, is that, like, the next thing down from Rome, or is there other shit? I'm trying to think, like, how's
I
the...
don't think it's a hierarchy. I think they're just like, I own that shit.
No, timeline.
Oh, timeline
Yeah.
wise, probably.
Like, what bled into England where Vatican over here in Italy would retain control over here in England? Like, I don't know enough
Through
about
the power
that time.
of Christ, my friend.
Is that like the Crusades and shit? That's not my
Probably.
era of history at
That's-
all.
I would imagine. Oh, like Crusades just kind of like took over all of Europe. So
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Look into that now. What was the other thing you said after?
The Pope can abolish any law, right?
Any law in the United States.
I would love to see that fucking come into play.
Right?
He probably
Just
could
wave
right
his dick
now.
around.
Biden would fucking bend over for him, but if he tried to do that with like
Oh, we
George
got fucking
Bush,
Brittany Grinders.
yeah, exactly.
When your name is spelled in all caps, it's a corporation. We talked about that. A 1040 form, the tax form, is for tribute paid to Great Britain.
Is that like a holdover of like? when we were-
Hold on. The 1040 form is a tribute paid to Great Britain and the Vatican.
And
well,
the
by
Vatican.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
by way to the Vatican by way of
Yes.
Great Britain. Yeah, I don't understand that one all the way. I gotta figure that one out.
But yeah,
How does Vatican own Great Britain?
I don't know.
It would be hilarious, like I said, if George Bush was in office or someone like that. And he's like, don't get me wrong, I'm a God-fearing man.
I'm a God-fearing man.
But I'll be damned if I'm going to let some fucking wop tell
Come
me
into my country and tell my
the
people.
land of the home,
What
and
to
the
do.
free and the brave.
get out of here with your goddamn funny hat.
Which, did we talk about that? Bounce. We know what that hat's about.
Yeah, we've talked about the hat before.
And
Oh,
Unaki had.
Well, obviously.
Descendant.
Obviously. Oh,
Because
bro,
they
I've been
came out of
going-
Egypt. So that's very interesting when you say,
I'm in a very dark place right now with rabbit holes. I'm
Yeah.
going down the government rabbit hole
I'm at a crossroads of
And-
rabbit holes.
and the old ancient aliens rabbit hole. We've been watching that every night.
That's what I get burnt out on, is when I start getting at it from both ends. The new school government and the old school ancient aliens. I can't be doing both at the same time,
It's
or
a
you
lot.
fall into a pit of despair.
It's a lot.
Yeah, you can't. Humans aren't meant to handle that
Humans,
level.
they're not. Do you know Teotihuacan was covered in 15 feet of dirt, probably from a great flood
Oh, like mud, yeah,
when they
yeah.
found it?
Mhm.
Yeah. You know, there's chambers underneath it that are insulated with a highly heat-resistant mineral that was purposely put there, insulated with stone, that material, stone, and then more of that material.
They knew what they were doing.
Did you know when a sinkhole fell in front of Teotihuacan? Archaeologists went in, found a hidden chamber with artifacts and liquid mercury covering the floor.
Hot damn.
That guy Praveen Mohan, who looks at all the Indian temples, he keeps finding things that it's like, so you look at it from this angle, and this angle, and that angle, and it always looks like it's carved out of one big piece of stone. He's like, but then you get close enough to it, and you realize that these are all separate carved stones that were intricately placed,
Linked,
so
joined.
perfectly that they look as if they're just one fucking stone.
Bro, I was watching one yesterday. There's this I don't know where the museum is, and I don't know how big the rock was. But this museum for an art installation wanted to take this boulder that was fucking massive from a quarry. And they didn't levitate, but they called it like levitating earth, but they had it on like these like little pillar things. But in order to move that rock, they pulled it out. They had like a crane the size of fucking
Yeah, one of like the three
building.
biggest machines in the world.
It then had to go on a. They had to lift. That was just to lift it up. They then had to build underneath rebar so that they can then lift the whole rock. They then transported the rock to a truck that had 50-something wheels on it.
Yeah.
And drove at a maximum of 5 miles an hour. And they drove this from that quarry to this place. And then with more heavy machinery, positioned it and did everything. That rock.
Meanwhile,
That rock, say, is the size of my fist. They then show one of the stones from something in Malta. So say that rock is this tall. That stone in Malta is this tall. It then showed, I don't know what the statue's called, but it's the big one in Egypt of the big dude, the big guy with the big pharaoh. That thing is fucking this tall. And then they show a stone from Greece. It's from a temple that I can't remember what it's called, but it's the biggest stone.
Parthenon or something.
It's not the Parthenon. It starts with a T, I think. But it's the Trinity? Maybe? I don't know. It's fucking like 15, 20, like 30 times bigger than that stone that we could barely move today.
Yeah. That's what's...
And these things are intricately placed, joined. Like, oh, it showed one of the stones from above the king's chamber that was just towering over this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that took so much effort today.
Well, bro,
Like,
even the things that they say was done to move the stones back then and have every way of trying out now, it's like, well, they probably just kept putting another log in the front and then bringing it back from
But
the back.
how'd they
Favorite
push it?
argument.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it crush the log? Wouldn't it like
It's miles, hundreds of miles away from where the quarry is or whatever the fuck.
500 miles?
Yeah.
That's 500 miles away. And then the black granite for the sarcophaguses and some other stuff came from a different quarry.
Right.
Further away.
In like a different direction.
Yeah.
It is fun. I like how they're always like, yeah, we brought in like so many people from like everywhere to like help. I'm like, I don't care how many fucking people you
No.
had, bro. Like, it's not happening.
And it's not even like religious zealots that are your workers. It's like forced slave hands and stuff. So it's like,
They don't want to fucking be there. They
Yeah,
don't give
it's
a
like-
shit about this monument they're building.
so even if you're saying like these crazy numbers, it's like, yeah, but that's not like maxed out that number. It's like
But when the dude you're
those
building
bodies.
But when the dude you're building the monument for is levitating rocks, it's like,
Different.
oh, okay.
When he's your foreman, it's
I'll
like,
tell you.
okay.
I'll
when
tell
they
you.
find that room of tuning forks of all different size, get the fuck out of here.
Do you know how they said that worked? The tuning
the
forks.
vibrations.
Yeah, they said you would line these tuning forks along a path. So basically, from the quarry to to the build site, and then they would take these forks because they would all be vibrating on the ground. You would take these forks and go bing on the rock, and it would start to levitate, and then people would push it, and you would only be able to push it like 500 yards, and it would drop. And then you got to bing, do it again, push it another 500 yards.
I was
Bing,
watching one
do it
YouTube
again.
video. I forget what the name of the principle are called. I don't know if it was resonant frequency or something else, but he's got like 2 tuning forks. He dings the one, and it makes the noise, and then he holds it to make it stop the noise. The sound is still going on the second one, though, even though he never touched it. So I wonder if, like, that's kind of the same setup where it's like they have all the tuning forks, and, like, you ding the one good to, like, get it going, but, like, now that one's already picking it up. So, like, if the thing is already kind of headed that way, now if you ding that one, all right, now it pulls it through, sends it to the next one who's already picking up that frequency.
Shit's fucked up, man. I don't know. There's something to it.
Bro. As soon as we
I can't wait.
Tesla 369 vibrations.
I can't wait. Rogan said on that podcast, Randall Carlson's coming back, what, in January? Or sometime after the new year? I think
to talk about
that whole thing with
his
the vibration.
discoveries.
Yeah. And that dude he's been talking to.
First.
The dude he's been talking to about, like, all the patents just went through. He's been sitting on it for like 7 years.
And I have the data.
I have the data that I can't wait till he's on here.
Man's gonna have a fucking unexplained fucking car crash all of a sudden.
No.
He doesn't drive.
He didn't.
That man needs to be protected.
No, they got to protect him, Graham Hancock. But then it's so scary because these people are so old.
I don't click on any of them, but I just see, like, competing thumbnails on YouTube all the time of, like, why Hancock's fucked in the head, and then like the next one's 10 things that got left out of the documentary that they couldn't show you. And it's like, I imagine both of you are, like,
Full of
equally
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'll probably just stick to listening to Graham Hancock and not me fucking yelling about it.
I found this book. We ate at Maggiano's over the weekend, and we had, like, time before our reservation, so we went through Barnes & Noble. And I found this book that was not written by Graham Hancock, but it goes into, like, the Anunnaki, shadow government, the Knights Templar, all this cool shit. And on the back, you flip it over, and it's literally, he didn't describe the book. The only thing that's on the back is a quote from Graham Hancock that says, "Nothing like this has ever been put together before. This is a masterpiece, a must read."
Did you buy it?
No, I'm going to buy it on Amazon.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cheaper on Amazon.
Send me the link.
Yeah, but no, that's the only.
Stores.
There's nothing about the book. There's nothing
We
about
out here
it.
in front of Barney's and Noble's.
But yeah, it's literally just Graham Hancock in the bag, and he's like, "This is all I need."
I mean,
That is all you need. hey, I didn't like it until I flipped it over and saw that and was like,
I was like, oh, this is good now. I didn't realize.
This is factual.
Perfect stocking stuffer.
This is fact checked. Cool.
I didn't know this was science.
Yeah.
Just throw it in your shopping cart.
Yeah. Gentlemen.
Wrap it up, boys.
Oh yeah.
I gotta get food in me.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Right there
I gotta
with
get
you.
home.
Chicken parms tonight again.
Again.
Yeah, I had it last night. Always got to make extra.
That's fine.
Always got to.
You always gotta make extra. Make sure
You're
to have
making it, make
make
an
sure to have
extra.
a couple extra Tums
Oh,
and a
no,
Pepto
with that-
Bismol too.
with
He
that
had
red sauce?
the memory pop up the other day of the chicken parm in New York.
That gave us the fucking night terrors. Of
Night
the,
before the plane.
So glad I didn't eat that.
Dude, I was full for so much of eating that thing. Like,
I was stuffed when the food got there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The
Just
food
like,
got there. I was good. I wasn't hungry, but
I guess
feel
I'll
like the
put
week
this in me.
after New York, I was still full. Like, I
Yeah.
was just
Oh, for a couple
I
days,
didn't eat red
yeah.
sauce for a week.
Red sauce took me a while.
Yeah.
I had already been having issues with that, and that one really put it over the top.
I was sick, and I ate red sauce. I ate like a pizza, and it tasted terrible. Probably just because I was sick, and I legit had a fear that I started looking up. Do taste buds change? Blah blah blah.
I just hate red sauce.
Did
now.
everything change? Do I not like red sauce? Is it tart now? It's sour.
It's that taste aversion from
Yeah.
psychology.
Yeah.
It's not your taste buds. It's your brain.
It's your brain, boy. And we're going to open up your brain on the Stone Day podcast. Where else are you going to hear info like this? Check us out on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram.
Where else are you going to hear the ramblings
the
of a
normal
security guard
bullshit.
that can't figure out how to set up his own podcast?
Hey.
You got to listen to it secondhand from us.
I'm going to be honest with you. He might be on here.
He was making a lot of good points.
He might be on this pod. Not in this studio, in the future studio when we're more legit. He's probably going to be on.
if one of them in my
We're gonna have him
house.
call in.
We'll have him zoom in.
Yeah.
But regardless, MMA
People
channel
don't
is
even
up.
know where I live.
MMA channel is up. Check that
Check
shit out.
that fucker out.
There's a secret clip channel.
Hell,
I'm
if you're
not going
watching
to tell
this,
you
you might
about
be coming from there.
MMA channel. If you are, welcome. We enjoy your presence. There's a secret clip channel
Talk about
out there.
UFC.
We're not going to talk about it. If you find it, we love you. You fuckers take care.
Oh yeah.
Yes.